Hi there YouTubers, welcome back to my channel, Workshop Fun. Right, today I'd like to post an update. I thought it's about time because quite a bit's been happening on my RV lately. So the first thing I'd like to start off with is I had this alloy Luna logo made. My caravan is a Luna, so I wanted to do something nice on the outside and custom. So I had this alloy 2mm round disc made, and I had it laser etched with the Luna logo in it, and to me that it's come out really nice. It looks fantastic. It's just a nice little custom touch to finish off the outside of this caravan. And I had the guy who does the laser etching follow the design of the Luna logo, which is used on these caravans. You can see the Luna logo here. There you go. So yeah, that's kind of just something cool and decorative, and also yeah, it just gives it a little bit of something. And had a new kitchen window made. My other one was just a bit too far gone, so I had this one made, and it's nice to have a new window there. It just looks better and tidier, so that's fantastic. It's hard getting these ones from the UK now, and they're very expensive, so I actually had this one made here in New Zealand, and it's a lot cheaper than buying one from the UK, and a lot stronger. The only downer is it isn't double glazed, but all the rest of my windows are, so it's not really going to affect much given the fact that it's just a little kitchen window. Okay, so that's this area all done now, which is quite nice. Moving right along, as I'd said in my last video, I was ordering alloy diesel tank, or alloy tank, for my diesel heater, and it's arrived and all installed now. It took a while because everything does. So that's my diesel heater's tank. It's a 20 litre, which is better than the plastic 10 litre that comes with it, and it's easy to fill in here. And all I had to do was drill a hole in it and screw the diesel heater's pickup that comes with it into this. I did bend the metal line over and cut an angle in it so it picks up more fuel as well, so that's fantastic. So just a little sort of pro tip for anybody doing that: make sure you just bend it over flat with the bottom and then cut an angle in the fuel pipe, and then it'll actually pick up more. And then I used my lathe and machined 4 bits of alloy pipe to lift this off the ground, because this has a sump, this fuel tank. So I put that I put the fuel tank on these feet, and the last thing I did was I just bought a diesel only sticker and turned around and put that on some white plastic and just attached it with some good solid double-sided tape. Okay, so moving right along, underneath here I will show you my diesel pump. Now this here is the latest Chinesium diesel pumps, or diesel pump, and I would actually recommend this. This actually does create a big difference in noise level. This is a ultra quiet diesel pump, or diesel heater pump, and comparing it to a normal one, yeah, it is really quiet. So I bought this one off AliExpress. You can get them wherever. They're probably sold on Amazon and all sorts of places, but it is well worth buying. And I bought my one with the built-in fuel filter. Quite liked that idea. And the other thing I did, which does definitely make a difference too is I turned around and was given this idea by a friend of mine to buy an exhaust hanger, and then you bolt the pumps bracket, rubber bracket, onto this, and then that bolts onto the bracket that holds it, and that does also take a lot of noise out as well. So there's a little pro tip for anybody: buy yourself one of these pumps and buy yourself one of these exhaust hangers. The pump doesn't cost much, and the exhaust hanger, that doesn't cost too much either. I got a proper rubber one. I wouldn't recommend getting a Nolithane one or anything like that, because you want the rubber one so it takes the noise out, it absorbs the shock or the noise. So get yourself one of those. I would say for the pump and the exhaust hanger, it probably cost me about $55 New Zealand, so nothing much to write home about. The other thing I've done with my diesel heater is I have turned around now and also added in the aftermarket silent air filter. You can see it there. So I made that wooden bracket up that holds it, and it's glued and screwed to the floor, so it's got a bit of extra bracing. And then the air filter is zip tied to that wooden bracket. You can see my Turret diesel heater mount, so that's good for when you're going through a caravan floor. You want to go get one of those. And then you got my muffler, and I'm about to change that from this one. This is just the factory one. I've got a silent one coming from Ali, and I've got the double walled exhaust pipe coming too. I've got a 3-meter piece of that coming, and a nice silent muffler. So yeah, that'll be all here soon. There we go, just getting up. Right, now I'm gonna bring us around to the doorway, because that's all done now too. Okay. As promised in my last video, this is the doorway all back in, and that was a lot of work. So as I discussed, all the corners, the plastic corners got taken out and the wooden corners laminated in. Then the silver top bitumen backed tape got put around. Like everything else, it's an extra form of weatherproofing protection. The marine sealant got put in as well with this alloy framing, so it'll never leak. New stainless screws. I still got to do a bit of cleaning up, but that's neither here nor there. This is where the inlay goes. So that's all in and done, and this door is working better than what it ever did when I first had it. What used to happen is I used to have to slam this door to shut it, but now if I go like that, it's shut properly, no problems. Now what I think was happening with this door before it got renovated, I guess you'd say, is because this door used to, so the door screws onto the alloy, or is riveted onto this alloy frame, and then that is screwed onto the wall through the entranceway. I think because there wasn't any strength in the corners below and above, I think the door was able to actually sag, and then it made it really hard to shut it properly. And there is some evidence of that too. If you look down here, there's actually a whole lot of scraping where this door used to scrape the alloy. So yeah, it doesn't do that now, of course, and just like that it closes beautifully. And I think that's by getting rid of those plastic corners, and it actually gives it extra strength. So we'll come inside now. Okay, and I'll close the door. Yep, that was a bit firmer than necessary. Okay, so I also put all the trim back in and the blind, and then also down here, this here used to just be plain old wood, and that had, so this bit of wood underneath here lifts the blind up to the right level, and out of the factory it just had a bit of plain old wood that had the veneer to match this. So I've used some treated ply and pin nailed that into the floor, and I also use some of that marine sealant, so if water tries to run down in here it can't. Then between the entranceway and this bit of ply, there's also a big bead of that marine sealant going across underneath here as well, where so basically if water tries to get in there, it can't get between the floor and the wall. It just will have to sit there, and I had to be quite careful because there's a whole lot of wiring between the wall and this bit of ply as well, so that all had to be spaced out basically like it was out of the factory. And then when I screwed the blind on, I also ran a bead of that marine sealant across here as well, so it's nice and waterproof. Okay, and as you can see, there's the silver topped bitumen backed tape. This is the stuff here, it's called flash tack. Okay, really good stuff, really good stuff. Okay, I can take my headlamp off now. Okay, right, there we go. Oh, no, one more. There. Okay, so the advantage too, that's the other thing I want to talk about, is back to the diesel heater now. The advantage too of having that nice tank and the Cerebro Victron set up is I can touch my screen now and I can see here I have 83% diesel in my tank, so I can stand in here and tell how much diesel is in my diesel tank, and it's all there just on the touchscreen, so that's lovely. It's one of the cool things about having a Victron set up with the Cerebro, you can hook up fuel level sensors and everything, so it's fantastic. Right, the other thing that's been done is, so when I installed the diesel heater, I'll just grab that headlamp back again, it's quite dark in there. So when I grabbed the when I put the diesel heater in here, of course that disrupted this whole area, so I built a shelf just the other day and I made it so it's very easy to access the diesel heater for maintenance. There is, you can just see it there, there's one screw back there, you undo that screw and all of these bits of flooring slide out and they all clip in together, but they can all come apart and slide out easily, and then you can access the diesel heater just like that, real easy. The other thing that I did too is, of course, I made the shelf freestanding, so that way I still have room for my nice tall oven trays. So that's all done, and that that took a lot of work. I mean, that was a lot of work. So, I mean, I think that was about 6 hours of designing it and building it and getting it all in there. So, that was a job well done. I was quite happy with that. And you couldn't see this working before, but there goes the little panel. That all works. And of course I just can turn that on and off with my remote as well. So right now the diesel heater is on its lowest setting, and it is 23 degrees in here at the moment. You can see that up there. So that's cool. So the diesel heater is barely having to do anything to work. So I'll take you to underneath here now. Okay, I'll just turn the light on. Right. Okay, so a bit's changed in here now too. So the MPPT charger for the 110 watt solar panel at the back is set up now. It's all working, but I haven't hooked up the solar panel yet. I'm just waiting for the wiring to arrive. I got the fuse board down there for any future use, and I got a breaker waiting to be used for the 110 watt panel. And next to this breaker, of course, I decided to get rid of the blade fuse for the diesel heater and put a breaker in for it instead. So that's way nicer. No silly blade fuse. If something shorts, it'll just trip that, and then I figure it out and then reset the breaker. It's just a lot easier. So there we go. And the other thing is if I ever need to cut power to it, I got a way of doing so without trying to figure out a fuse and pulling it out. It's just simply bring it down. Okay, so as you can imagine, that's all taken a lot of time so far, and still haven't quite finished it yet, but it's all nearly there. Okay, now moving right on to the last bit of interior work that I've got to do, and that's the bathroom ceiling. Just made a start on that today. So new beams are glued and screwed in place here, and this beam here is joined in to the old beam. It's screwed in. It comes in beside the old beam and screws into it, and is also glued to it. So that's good. So soon I'll take these braces down, and then tomorrow I'm gonna run a beam across here from this beam here through to my new beam here, and then I also will cut out a bit, like I'll cut out a bit of the foam and cut a bit in the inside of the old ceiling, and I will screw the new beam and glue it into here on the other new bit and into the old beam, and then this will be able to get stapled up to the new beam once the glue's all set, and then that will stop the ceiling from sagging, and the new ceiling can also attach to it as well. So it's all a big job, but it's getting there, and it's the last interior thing to do anyway. So good progress. It's nice to see all this coming along and nearly finished. Yeah, so basically the interior other than that is pretty well done. After that there's just the remaining wheel well to go, the wheel well to go back in, and the other wheel well to come out and be inspected. And there's a little bit of repair work to do underneath the shower. Just a little bit of rot from where the plug area has been leaking a little bit. Not bad, but it's just been a little leak. So yeah. Anyway, once that's all done, then the caravan is finished and I can move in. So it's all getting there now. A lot of work, but it is definitely getting there. Okay then, that's about all for now, and if there's any questions, let me know. Bye.